If you want some more information about Advanced Pro Salon, you can go to advancedprosalon.co.uk. And we've got the brand's amazing ambassador, Andrew Trott-Barn, with us today. Hello there,
Hello.
Andrew.
Hi, you okay?
I'm good, yes. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. I've got very, very long hair.
Oh, I think we all do, don't we? I was
Your
actually
hair's
saying to you before.
your hair's looking lovely.
Oh, thank you. And I'd say I'm loving you with the slightly longer hair. I think it looks great.
I just need the sides off now.
Yeah, exactly. So you're itching to get back into the salon just as much as the clients are.
Goodness gracious me. I'm so excited to get back, really, and to see what they've all done.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Well, I guess that's partly what we'll be talking about today, isn't it? Because obviously some clients would have broken some rules and been naughty during lockdown and delved into box dyes and things like that, and might have messed up their hair without wanting to do so. So what would you say would be the most common problems that you're going to see clients coming back into the salon with?
I think just before I answer that question, what I wanted to get across as well today was it's so polarizing, because you've got some stylists, you've got some salons that have been, they've adhered and helped their client, let's say. Some have posted out professional colour, some have sort of said absolutely not. So I'm not discriminating against either or.
No.
One thing I really wanted to sort of make really clear is quite a few stylists have sort of gone on social media and on the social media channels and sort of said, I can't believe my clients have done this and done that, whereas it's kind of, don't tell them off.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they need to know that they can come back no matter what they've done. You want that client back, because if they feel that you're going to tell them off or give them a bit of a telling off or a seeing to, they might, potentially go elsewhere, which you don't want. You want to make it really, really, really clear that they can come back to you and you will fix whatever they've done. I mean, most things will be fixable, which we'll go into. But first and foremost, it's like, just reach out to them. Whether we've got to send them guidelines when they come through as well about the new procedures and the way that we're going to be working. In addition to that, I'll be sending out to all my clients. I know a couple have. I know a few are just holding strong. And it's just saying, look, it's okay. We will fix you. We have the right professional products to do so. Just please, I'm not going to tell you off. Just please come back and, we'll work it through. So first and foremost, that was my main point of reach out to your clients and just let them know they're free to come back no matter what they've done, even though you may have worked 4 years to get them from black to platinum blonde, and now they're peach pink or somewhere in between, No,
I think that's a really positive message. So we don't want to scare clients away. We want to make sure they're excited and confident to come back into the salon no matter what they've done to themselves.
So important to just let them know, please come back. So don't be annoyed at them. And another thing was, obviously, depending on what they've done, it really gives an opportunity for you to sort of mix it up a little bit, because it's fresh eyes. Obviously, you get so many clients that just come in, they have the normal root tint or the balayage or whatever they have done. It's a real opportunity for you to really show your creative and technical flair by fixing them and giving them something possibly new that they never maybe would have thought of in the first place.
Definitely. And obviously we've got loads of people watching at the moment, so if you've got any questions, please do feel free to pitch them. If there's anything that a client has said to you they've done to the hair and you're starting to think, now how am I going to fix that, please do reach out with your questions and Andrew will be able to help. But should we kick off, Andrew, with maybe clients that have got in touch, reached out to you during lockdown and saying, look, I'm going to need your help once we get back because I've done this or that?
I have two clients in particular. They're both blonde. So one, she's normally sort of flared highlights, really classic, really creamy, really nice. Perception, she looks like a full head blonde, but it's actually highlights and microlights and everything in between. And she reached for a certain presenter's hair dye, let's say, and she didn't have that much of a root, and obviously it's okay, and she's actually done it a second time and it's just tobacco orange on the roots because it's a high lift tint rather than a pre-lightener, whereas products are quite different. Obviously the ones from the chemist, they have very different ingredients, lots of salts, lots of minerals, which aren't necessarily great for the hair. And obviously using a range like Colour Code, within there you've got all the vitamins, you've got the Proplex already in there, and you've got just educating the client that the professional product is very, very different to something that they use at home. And obviously they've not got the education or the technical ability to understand how it works technically. All of a sudden everybody's a hairdresser at home, whereas the main thing is just fixing those really blonde clients specifically, because there's different bleachers available. I have another client, she was a full head, she was dark, she put bleach all over it, she used another off-the-shelf toner, and the first tip was really nice, and now she's talking about doing it again. And I've made it really clear, like, just, you've got another couple of weeks hopefully, and if you are gonna have to do it with just this raw bleach, just do the roots, because last time she just put it all over. It's kind of, you don't want to drive them away from the salon, but if they've got no other option, then it's kind of, I would advise to a certain point, I'd always advise not to, but if they really have to, then I try my best to see them through as much as I can.
And actually, Andrew, that's quite interesting, because I know me and you were talking about this yesterday. We're in this sort of last part of lockdown now, and we were sort of talking about the fact some people might have got lucky and might have got away with using that box dye once, and then might be tempted to do it again, which they might not get lucky again.
It's that second hit when they might be taking it home in a bag,
Yeah, exactly. So I guess, I mean, what sort of advice are you giving to clients who are sort of reaching out saying, oh, I can't go any longer, please can I do it again?
I've just said, look, I've really reached out and said, look, no matter what you do, we can fix it, but longevity wise, you might not just come for one visit. Whatever you've done, just this one little hit over the next, I think we've hopefully got 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left. If you do it again, it's going to set you back on the other side of lockdown. It's not necessarily, the hair integrity might be at stake. The professional colours, like I said before, are very different, but just say, please just wait. You've gone, so there's so many things out there. There's the sprays, you've got the lovely headband on today, you can wear headbands, hats, there's the sprays, there's all these, there's the powders that you can use just to see through, and you're not going anywhere. I have had a certain amount of clients that have gone back to work, and are going back on Monday, due to different sectors. So they've said, well, I'm going back to work on Monday, what do I do? And I've pleaded with quite a few of them and just said, look, please don't, just try your very, very best. And if they do, then, as I said, I've made it really clear, it's not just a one-hit fix in the salon. It might take 4 or 5 visits, first and foremost, depending on what these non-professional colours have affected the hair's integrity, really.
Exactly. And obviously, speaking about kind of the number of appointments, I guess, is it important from your point of view now to get a client plan in place, so what your starting point is? And
it's so important plan wise. We still don't know, sort of depending on square footage, capacity, whether you can have someone in between or not. So capacity is going to reduce by half for a lot of clients anyway. Instead of seeing 10 clients or doing 14 appointments a day, you're only, perception of what we think the guidelines are going to be is going to be half. So equally, you need that time, but equally that time is money as well. So you still got to charge for what you're going to be doing, and these appointments are going to be a lot longer. But again, that's on the flip side, it's a great opportunity to mix it up and really show them, use your technical, use your color wheel, use your neutralization, you do use all of that, but first and foremost is the hair health and the hair's integrity.
Definitely. And I guess other common kind of client mishaps, things kind of like overtoning.
So I've got a few clients that are quite sort of pre-light and blonde, quite light, and then they've never really played around with pastel shades or toners. Obviously there's quite a lot in the chemists on the market. Sorry.
Alarm. Is that your alarm?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, brilliant. Dear. Sorry, this is great, isn't it? It's all part of being live. It's like,
welcome to the world of live.
Yeah, definitely. It made me jump.
Toning. So I've got a lot of clients, you've got them to a beautiful blonde. They haven't done anything apart from use these tone on tone or quick fix pastel toners, so the pinks, the purples, the greys. Now a lot of them have built up because they've liked them and they've changed them. So whereas now you've got all these, even though they're not permanent, they're still staining the hair. So then it's going back to the product that you use, how to fix that, whether it's a soft cleanse, whether it's the old-fashioned word of bleach bath, that soft cleanse with your professional product. So it's just depending on how much the hair can take and how far it's gone in. But a lot of these toners are great, but then a couple of days later they don't all come out, and you've got to look at the hair porosity, which is why when clients come back, you've got all your tests, your skin tests, your porosity tests. The hair health is so important. But if they have put this pink or this grey after grey after grey after grey after grey, it is going to build up. So it's not, again, you just got to educate the client and make it really, really clear that it's not just a quick fix back.
Definitely. Are you doing any video consultations or anything with clients at this time to try and see what you'll be working with back in the salon? Or are
I
you
haven't
just sorting
yet,
out?
depending on the guidelines. I've got sort
Yeah.
of an idea in place where I do a rolling couple of weeks. So basically, relevant of the date, I've got week 1, week 2, week 4, week 3, week 4. So you might be my Wednesday 5 o'clock on week 2. So what I will be doing the day before and obviously the week before is ringing them normally, filling in the guidelines, explaining about the appointments, explaining about the new guidelines when we get them. And when you reach out, they really feel quite special. And again, it's just putting these things in place about the appointments and the timing, and it's just asking them really honestly, and asking them to be as honest with you as you're going to be as honest with them.
Yeah.
I will really tell them how it is from a professional point of view, but also from a banter point of view, you know, just say like, right, you've done this and this is the journey. And it's really important to set that journey out. And also, and it's not just all about money, but at the end of the day, you're going to be seeing less clients, and equally, you've got to put these journeys in place, and you've got to put a cost element to this journey as well.
Definitely. Like, yeah, so from a money point of view as well, I guess that's something to start thinking about.
It's really
now.
important. Obviously, you're not going to fleece your client by any means. You've still got to cover the work that you're going to be doing. It's not just a quick route in. You know, it is a full. You're going back to basics. It's a whole new way of working. So you've got to add your consultation timing is so important. Your pre-consultation is what I'll be doing just to see if they have to. So I'm not in for any shock. I mean, some of them. Maybe a few won't tell you the truth, you know, but you'll know as soon as you see them. I just want them to be brutally honest. And I think if you reach out and do this pre-consultation and your full consultation and explain what you're going to do and why you're doing it, what professional products you're going to use, why the professional products are different with all the vitamins, minerals, argan oils, especially with color code with Proplex already in there. You know, you're not having any additives. It's with color code as well, you can mix it as a semi-permanent or a permanent. So we're really lucky with the range that I get to work with.
Yeah,
it's really vast. It's like 112 colors, but equally the integrity and the minerals and all the goodness that's in the professional color will be really apparent. And if you do have a range that doesn't tick those boxes, then have a look at what you're using.
And I guess it's like you were saying, it's about communicating early about why their appointment might be more expensive than it was before.
Yeah,
because if they have made mistakes during lockdown, then it might take longer to fix, I guess.
But equally, obviously, with the clients that haven't touched it, there will be sort of other cost implements. But obviously, you can work that out with your client and with the management, or if it's yours, or if you're freelance, or
fantastic.
What you're doing.
We're starting to get a couple of questions in now, Andrew. So Nicola Middleditch has said, have you started your bookings as yet for when you reopen? And how much time will you be allowing for clients?
Depending on obviously the client's needs and wants. So I'm aware that we might have to block book each client rather than do, say, a colour cut. So the block appointment will be between an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 2.5, depending on what we need to do. And as far as booking, I know everyone's like, are you rebooking? I've got this idea of a rolling week rota. So I've got an idea of how I'm going to do it. But as far as physically ringing them and doing this, we need much more information. We need the guidelines. And I think hopefully we're going to get some on the 22nd, 25th, but you need some to prep the salon and to prep all the staff if you have got staff as well. So it's just a case of very nearly, but not just hold fire for now until we know what we're really doing.
And Nicola also makes the point that some clients might not be completely honest with where they're at with their hair and where you've got to go to get it back to the way it
equally was. Which was where the pre-consultation would come in, and you say, look, please be honest. And we know even clients that you've done for years, you're like, what have you put on? Oh, nothing, it was a wash in, wash out. It's clearly not a wash in, wash out. It's blanket black. It's not a wash in. You're 90% grey and there's none left. Where's it gone?
Oh, exactly. So I guess that's the honesty coming through and making sure.
And I think most clients, but obviously because you can't have walk-ins now anyway, you couldn't do a colour on a walk-in anyway. But I think all the clients that you do have is, if you have a good relationship with them, they should hopefully be really, really honest. And if they're not, then it's their discretion to be honest with you. But if they're not, then if what you intend to happen doesn't happen, then you've asked all the questions, you've ticked all your boxes, then you just want to plead with them to just be brutally honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. And also, have you had any clients reaching out to you thinking that you're going to be opening on the 15th? Because someone has pointed that out as well, that some customers are reaching out assuming that they're opening on the 15th, which obviously...
Yeah, I think it's been quite clear. I think that the government have been quite clear, and they created the personal care sector, which is part of, you know, the official guidelines, and we have been advised from the 4th of July, but equally I must stress as well, it's only a guide from the 4th July, and you know, across all the forums, all the groups that I'm in, everyone's like, when can we open, when can we open? It's just wait. It's only a few more weeks, and before we know it, we'll be busy. But it'll be a new busy. So instead of having, you know, those 12 appointments, you'll have 6. So you'll be busy for weeks and weeks and weeks, but you'll be seeing less people a day, which actually I think is quite nice for you to reconnect with your client and really show the skill and the technical knowledge that you know of the colour range that you use.
Definitely, which is fantastic. We've had Anne Bradley saying it's good news that your fire alarm works, which is very true.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't have to do that test now before your salon reopens, Andrew. Which is fantastic.
That was part of the the health and safety.
Brilliant. And then we've had a few people asking about skin testing and whether you're going to be doing skin testing on all of your clients on return.
So I suppose it depends on the manufacturer's instructions. Some depending on the range that you have, some are 3 months, some are 6 months. So if you have coloured the hair, I think within 6 months, it's okay, but I really would refer to the instructions and the guidelines of the manufacturer's guidelines. And as far as skin testing, it's a non-negotiable. You have to, if you need to, depending on the guidelines that you've been set by your manufacturer, then you have to. So yes, you might not be able, but you wouldn't be booking colours in. But then if we are allowed to work on the 4th, you're going to have to skin test on the 4th. I think that's very black and white unless we get guidelines to say that we can skin test beforehand. But skin testing, I cannot stress enough, is non-negotiable, and you absolutely have to.
Brilliant. And what are your hints and tips for someone who's maybe tried to do highlights and balayage from home and it's gone terribly wrong?
I mean, we've seen all the pictures, haven't we? We've seen on a few Instagram, I'm on a few groups on Instagram where it's hair disasters anyway, and they're coming to life. It's just, again, you just got to look at the hair, the health of the hair, and how to fix it. So if you have got that television presenter, yellow roots, blonde ends, I would personally go in with some microlights and maybe a root melt back to natural, just to take that warmth and use your knowledge of your color wheel just to reset them, because then sometimes you can utilize the lightness there as well. But then equally, if they need to go darker, then they can eventually get back, but maybe try and offer them something new that they've not had before. Therefore, it's more exciting for them, more exciting for you, and you're creating a new look. But if they want to get back to how it was, it's back to educating them, saying, look, it's not just going to happen. It's going to take a while. We will get you back there, but it's just neutralizing and maybe darkening the warmer areas or neutralizing the warmer areas as well.
Fantastic. Will you be using the consultation time to concentrate more on that education element now that clients might have started experimenting with things and getting things a little bit wrong? Do you think the education element will be more important?
Without a shadow of a doubt, but equally I try to educate my clients as well. So if they want something, and I have a saying where we've worked in all the salons, I'll just go, I'm going to say no. And they go like, what do you mean you say no? And it's like, I'm going to say no. But then what I'll do, I'll tell them why I'm saying no, but then give them 2 or 3 more options as well. So education, and you've got the time now, because it is just you and that client for that period of time. You've got time to educate them on the products that you're using, why they're superior to, say, something on the shelf, and really educate them in how, not obviously they're not students by any means, but if they understand more now, especially if they've done something, they're, well, I think a lot likely now moving forward from after lockdown to do anything ever again. And actually it's an opportunity to really show your expertise and the knowledge that you know as a professional hairdresser, not just a supermarket hairdresser.
Definitely. And do you have any hints and tips for maybe a client who comes in and they have put an all over box dye colour on their hair and they think they've done a pretty good job? Obviously you can see the difference, and do you have any hints and tips for how to educate that client, but obviously in a friendly, positive way?
if they book in now, if they're a brunette, a lovely warm golden chocolate brunette all over, and they've just used one at home, and to them, as the non-professional eye, they feel it's okay. I'm not going to go say no, 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 but what I would do is then educate them on maybe if they've missed a bit, or I'd show them that yes, they think it's okay, but I wouldn't be arsy and show them that it was wrong. But what I would then do is say, look, this is the professional color I use. I use Color Code. It has argan oil, vitamins, Proplex oil in it. So as far as conditioning the hair, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot better for them. Whereas a lot of these box dyes, I actually opened one up the other day for a little test that I was doing, and it absolutely stank. And I was like, what is these chemicals that these people are using at home? But if they feel they're doing an okay job, I'll just try and sort of say, well, this is the product that I use, and these are the benefits of that. And if you feel that you don't want any colours anymore, then that's fine. But I just think it's, if you're just honest and open and have a bit of a laugh with them and say, look, well, actually, if you take the benefits and pros and cons of both, I know exactly what I go for every single time. But they might not think, but I think down the line, maybe if they do it 3 or 4 times, especially with the darker colours in the chemist or the supermarket, they're very blanket, they're very wiggy, they're not multitonal, they don't work with what the hair is naturally, whereas with professional colours, especially Color Code, it really works with their natural base and getting that shine and all that goodness back into the hair that I don't think or know that a box or chemist dye would do that.
Brilliant. So that kind of client, you'd be taking them on that journey and saying, look, let's get this to be more of a
just saying, look,
colour again.
Yeah, and just sort of, it's not, especially with professional colour, especially with Color Code again, if you've got white roots and you just need to refresh the ends, you do permanent on the root to obviously cover all that grey, and you'd refresh the rest with a semi-permanent, which is great with the Color Code range because you can use both. Whereas at home, it's just either semi or permanent. So they don't have the luxury of intermixing, or then if you have to with your lighter colours, warming them up, cooling them down. And that's where we can intermix and create that really bespoke, and I think that's the best word for it that you use, is that really bespoke one-to-one professional colour. And but then you've got the time to do it now. We'll all have the time. We'll be busy, but like it'll be a new busy. It won't be like a Saturday when you've got half an hour appointments, because we just won't be able to do it. And I think initially it was my worst nightmare, because I do, on certain days I do pack them in. But
I'm sure everybody does, yeah.
But that's from the business point of view as well. But it's from me personally, I've re-educated myself, going, you know what, I've got the time now to really be as professional as I can, use amazing products and really show the skill and the professionalism that what hairdressers have, which I think people have lost now with all the media, especially certain TV programs, getting the stylists in and using all the box dyes and all that, which I don't necessarily agree with myself, but that's fine for them. For me, it's just really showing what amazing hairdressers are and how professional and technically we can be, and really fix things. I mean, you might fix some in one hit, one session. You might take 6 months down the line, but I just think it's a great opportunity to really show who we are and what we are. And we're not just hairdressers, we are real professional technical people.
Definitely. I think lockdown has really showed that to the public, hasn't it? I mean, everyone's
totally
back to the hairdresser because they know they can't do as good a job as a hairdresser can.
Absolutely not.
And we're getting loads of questions coming in. So weekly regulars, are you asking them not to come in for their weekly appointments just for a short time to allow in everybody else? But it's quite difficult, obviously, because if you've got weekly blow dry regular clients, you don't want to risk upsetting them.
I think it's a really good question, actually. As far as if you have, I don't have that many regular blow dry clients, let's say, but I do have regular 3-week root tint clients. Whereas I think that is a really good question. I just try my very, very best, and equally speak to your employer, or if you are freelancer, if you do have a salon, opening times are gonna, not I'm saying 24-hour salons, but I know full well, depending on how the guidelines will work, I'll be working really, really early or really, really late, and I'll just try. I mean, I do have a lot of regulars, so it's not like I have one regular or one favorite or one VIP client. To me, they're all the same clients. They all mean the same to me. I'll just try my very best to get them in as and when I can. But equally, they've got to maybe understand and again educate them and say, look, for this first 3 months, we can, if you have to have it every week, then that's fine. But you've already gone 12 weeks without me. Maybe do it every other or every third, just so you can accommodate. Yeah, that's my answer. To maybe ask them to sort of say, look, you've gone 12 weeks without me. I know you want to see me every week. I have got this really strong clientele. You're just as important as someone else. Whether you're an actress or whether you're a student, you are just as important to me. And maybe just say, look, I know you want this appointment every week. Can we build that and grow that in the future? And just let everyone get a first piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And then, within 6 months, I think we'll be back to pretty much a normal, whatever the new normal is. Yeah. That's a really good question, actually. Yeah.
That is a really good one. We've got a couple of questions around pricing as well, Andrew.
Yeah.
So one person has asked, are you making an official price increase across the board?
Absolutely. Yeah. Depending on what that is, I think we were looking at a 5%, but then equally, it depends on you as what you're charging anyway. Not that I'm going to talk about PPE because we touched on that, but there is a price in,
that was the other question, actually, Andrew. That was, are you going to be charging on top for your PPE?
Absolutely. You've got to, you can't not, because what the client needs to understand as well is that it's not their fault, but we can't see as many clients as what we normally would. And obviously all hairdressers across the land, whether you're a freelance, whether you're a home hairdresser, whether you're mobile, whether you have a salon, or whether you have international salons or academies, we are all going to take a hit for now. We absolutely are. There's no way around it. There's no quick fix. There's no let's do this, let's do that. We've just got to suck it up, show what we can do, and really heighten the skill that we have, and just show them we know what we're doing. But you absolutely have to have a price increase, and I don't think for 1 second any clients will have a problem with that, because they've saved over the past 12 weeks, haven't they? They've saved a fortune.
That's very true. Will you be doing any marketing, social media marketing, or anything to explain the price increase, whether that's the PPE price increase cost or the general?
I think it'd be very beneficial for your clients and your followers to understand why and how. So in very short terms, you'd have your new guidelines, because the new guidelines anyway, like one at a time, not bringing your kids, trying to bring less bags and coats as you possibly can, keeping it a bit more medical, a bit more clinical feeling, whereas they've got to understand that. And sorry, what was the question?
Oh, we're just talking about communicating the
social media. So I absolutely will. I put a little bit, I did a screen grab of the National Hairdressing Federation about the date of opening and understanding the date of opening, and I absolutely will. And when I do, because I talked about a pre-consultation before, and just touching base with them, seeing how they are, they love it. If you just ring them and say, hi, it's me, they'll be over the moon. And then it's your opportunity again to educate them the how, the why, the wherefore, and how things are going to be different, including price and including timing.
And do you think that's good to do that now, so that if there is anyone who's on the fence about maybe tapping into that box dye during this last month or so you can have that chat about that?
I just think it's the perfect time for me personally to reach out. Obviously, they will think that you're ringing to book them in. So nip that in the bud straight away. They'll be like, can you book me in? Just first and foremost, just say, look, I'm not ringing to book you in. As soon as I get the official guidelines from the government, I will let you know you're on my list. And then just educate them. It's up to you whether you feel that. I think it's the right time now, especially with people going back to work and shops opening on the 15th, as we touched on before. Are you open on the 15th? No. I'm reaching out to let you know we are not open on the 15th. We have guidelines for the 4th. But equally, this is going to be the way that we're thinking it's going to be working, and there will be different aspects of the way that it's going to work, and the price and the cost and the consultation, and that's where it all comes in. And if you touch base, I think they'll be over the moon with that, to be honest.
Definitely. Are you doing an invisible bookings calendar, or are you just holding fire for the time being, Andrew?
Me personally, I do have my pen and paper book. I'm old school, pen and pencil, and I do have week 1, week 2, all the way to week 6. So I did actually book the first 2 weeks in, if I'm brutally honest. I did, and because I thought that would be the Tuesday after the bank holiday of May.
Right.
So that was week 1. So my first client was Wednesday 9 a.m. week 1. But I also explained to them at that time, and I only did 2 weeks because then I was like, I need to just hold fire. This was a few weeks ago. So I rang them all and said, look, your week 1, your Wednesday 9 a.m. But that week 1 could be minus a week. So if we were allowed to open earlier, you would have the first Wednesday available, but equally now it's actually a month later.
Of
So that
course,
week 1 is still the same week 1. And
yeah.
that week 2 is still the same week 2. But that's the way I'm going to work. And it's going to work for me personally. And it is,
Yeah.
I'm a freelance stylist. I work in a great salon. Obviously, depending on if we have to work in teams or not, I'll work around the guidelines of the government and the guidelines of the salon. But then equally for me, I'm going to adhere to that because that's the only way.
I think that's a great tip. The date at the moment is irrelevant, isn't it?
Because the date is like, for me, it's worked for me just as an independent working somewhere else. Week 1 to week 6, you can have Wednesday, week 3, 5 p.m, Laura.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone's going to want to be a week 1, aren't they?
Of course they are, yeah. But they've just equally, it goes back to that really good question about the weekly clients. It's just saying, look, you've gone so long without me. Another week or 2 isn't really going to make a difference. Yeah, definitely. Unless they go for that presented box dye.
Dawn McGreety has said that she's a bit nervous about the backwash, being in close contact. She's asking, will it work washing hair and not having the mask come off?
So for me personally, we did have sort of a health and safety chat, a group chat, and I know full well with the salon about social distancing, and now they're all talking about this meter distance, or is it 2 meters? And it's just, you just got to sort of stop overthinking a little bit. Anything within that radius, so anything within 2 meters, you have to have PPE. So obviously a backwash, there's no way you can't have PPE. I know full well the salon that I'm in, we've got a screen in between every single one, and we've got masks, we've got visors, and the client will have to wear it. If not, they can hold something up as long as they're covering them. As far as legally, they have to have a face covering because we can't social distance. Social distancing is anything within the 2 meters right now. You have to PPE within 2 meters, and it's that simple. PPE within 2 meters, the client will just have to hold something over their face or a mask. Yes, they can undo the ear if you're cutting around the ear, but at the end of the day, washing your hands, using your hand sterilizers, clean equipment, cleaning down every time. I think the backwash experience will be very different. I will be doing all my own. I won't be using an assistant because they'll if we are allowed assistance, or we just don't know about all of that yet. But as far as me, the screens in between each backwash, I'll have a mask and a visor. And I'll be doing it all myself, just that 1-to-1.
And then someone said, well, what about using a medical tap?
I don't know what a medical tap is, I'm sorry.
To be honest, I don't think I do either. So Renee, if you want to explain that for us. And then Jan has asked, will you be offering clients refreshments like teas and coffees?
Absolutely not. No magazines, no teas, no coffees.
Oh, tape. Okay. So,
sorry.
Yeah. So it was a typo. So she was actually saying medical tape. That makes more sense.
What's medical tape?
Just some tape to keep the mask in place.
To keep them on. If that's what the client wants and that's what the client's comfortable doing, absolutely go for your life. Yeah, as long as it's within the guidelines.
Brilliant. And we're getting close to the end now, Andrew. So I just want to.
No way already.
I know. I knew it was going to fly by.
We need to do another one.
Exactly. So I wanted to take it back to obviously what this topic is all about, which is how to fix these clients' mishaps that they might have been doing during lockdown. How to fix them once we're all allowed to reopen again. What would you say are kind of the main takeaways and advice and tips you'd give to everyone watching who might be feeling nervous about what they're going to be presented with when they get back?
You are one thing that is for sure, you are going to be presented with quite a lot, and quite a lot of them will be challenging. But it's going back to, we're all hairdressers, we know what we're doing technically, but equally re-educate yourself as well. If there is any courses that we can do about color correction or anything like that, then just read into that and just go back to your basics about the color range that you're using, your neutralization, also all the old school porosity tests. You've got to do all these tests, and the hair integrity is so important. And yes, you might just think, what on earth am I going to do with this? Speak to the stylist around you. There's help. Each manufacturer has, guidelines within the books, but speak to. There's lots of forums. There's lots of help out there. If you've got other stylists in the room, speak to them. Use other people's knowledge, and as a team and as a group and as an industry, we can really help each other. and world peace.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's great advice, Andrew. And from what you were saying before as well, it is about communicating with the clients as soon as you can.
It really is, and just reaching out and going, look, back to my original point of what we were saying, you know, just say it's okay if you have done something, you're very naughty, but we will and can fix you, whether that's one hit or whether it's a few appointments. Just saying, come back to me, I will fix you. Please don't feel bad that you know, I've asked you not to and you have, because we can work it out. You know, it's not the end of the world, but some of them might, one of them out of 1,000 might be, you know.
I think that's, yeah, and that's also a very great point, isn't it? You've got to keep it positive, keep
And
it
also
light,
sort of
great cuts,
great cuts, lots of treatments. Home care is really important as well. You know, we have a really lovely heat shield spray. You know, it's again just getting them to use the right products, whether that's home care or whether that's a professional product like colour coding from Advanced Pro Salon.
Definitely. And I guess once you do get them back behind your chair, there might well be another gap before you can get them in again, because you'll be so inundated. So
I can't wait. I know full well that a few of them, it's like, right, time to change it up. You know, you've had this one client that's had the same hair for years and years and years, and every single time they'll sit down and I'll go, right, what, I won't say same again. I'll never say same again. I'll always say, and what are we doing today? And just, it's your opportunity to just mix it up a little bit and change them up. And, you know, if it is quite warm and it suits them, you know, a lot of clients want this icy white and it doesn't suit them anyway. Whereas if it's a warm, you know, buttery beigey blonde that they have achieved, then actually sometimes you can go, you know what, that's actually worked. Let's use that, utilize it rather than go against. You don't have to fix everything. Sometimes you can use these disasters and mishaps to your own advantage, and that's where your education comes in.
I think that's brilliant, definitely. So you can actually use it to be a bit more experimental.
I think so, definitely. To go, right, you know what, what you've done isn't what we were doing, whereas actually this suits you. Look at skin tones, look at eye colour, look at hair texture, look at how it's working for them, and actually go, you know what, you've put this on, it really suits you, let's go with it, let's try this, let's evolve them. It's a really great opportunity to be exciting, use your, you know, flair, and just turn them around for something new.
So it's exciting times ahead then, Andrew, isn't it?
I think so, but then we're in for it as well. We absolutely are.
Fantastic. Well, I think everyone will agree this has been an excellent chat. We've had a few people commenting.
I've loved it.
Lots of excellent advice and hints and tips, and it's been a great interview, and I completely agree. Thank you so much, Andrew.
My pleasure.
And yeah, I think everyone's going to be super busy behind the scenes once those doors do eventually open.
we're all the Gotcha members. We're all in this together, and there's help out there when you need it. So
definitely, and like you say, it's not being afraid to ask for that advice or education if you are a bit rusty on something that maybe you haven't had to do. If all your clients, you've managed to get them all looking glossy, and then they all come back, and you've got to take them all back to square one.
But how much fun, and you know, it's guaranteed work for at least the next year, so we're all good.
That is true. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Advanced Pro Salon as well for supporting the session. And we look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Fantastic. Take care, everyone.